and welcome to The World Today. I am Amarachi Ubani. We begin today's program in Iraq, where there's been serious fighting going on for major cities in the country. Insurgents have been overrunning two cities now. First, it was Mosul yesterday. Today is the city of Tikrit. Just a day after Mosul, officials say the militants are now in control of some parts of the city, which is Saddam Hussein's hometown. Lies just about 150 kilometers north of Baghdad. In the meantime, International Organization for Migration says as many as 500,000 people have been forced to flee their homes in Mosul after Islamist militants effectively took control of it on Tuesday. Prime Minister Nouri Maliki has vowed to fight back against the jihadists. Yesterday, he was urging Parliament to declare a state of emergency. He, however, has promised to punish those in the security forces who have deserted. Iraq's second largest city is under fire. Forces battled insurgents in Mosul on Tuesday after the northern city was seized by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, an offshoot of Al-Qaeda and its allies. The capture of Mosul follows 4 days of fighting in the northern city and attacks in other towns. The takeover prompted thousands of families to flee north towards the autonomous Kurdistan region, which shares a border with Nineveh province, of which Mosul is the capital. Worried by this development, the White House reacted to the attack by saying the United States would continue its support of the Iraqi government, but will also call on it to do a better job of appealing to all Iraqis.
Or these kinds of challenges don't have a solely military solution. So while we can provide important military assistance to improve the security situation in Iraq, addressing these challenges is going to require a commitment by the Iraqi leadership, including Prime Minister Maliki, to confront the kinds of unresolved issues that are facing all of the people in Iraq.
Also, Australia says, like the US, it is ready to offer assistance to Iraq. Back home, Iraq's Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki has asked Parliament to declare a state of emergency after the insurgent attack in Mosul. The fall of Mosul deals a serious blow to Baghdad's efforts to fight the Sunni militants who have regained ground and momentum in Iraq over the past year and pushed into Mosul last week. Let's try to understand what's going on in Iraq now. I'm being joined via telephone by Professor Charles Dokubo. He is a fellow at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Professor, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Well, thanks.
This is the second attack in 1 week we've seen in Iraq. What do you think is responsible for the rise in violence?
The fact that the withdrawal of American has created a vacuum. And then if you can remember, most of the people, the government in Iraq also refused to sign the status of force agreement with the United States that made all the United States troops to live there. So that space that has been created by the United States withdrawal has caused all these problems for Iraq.
Well, but this is a country that was supposed to have been peaceful, especially with the demise of Saddam Hussein and the presence of U.S. and international forces there in the country. But steadily over the years, we've seen a rise in insurgency in Iraq.
Yeah, the issue is that when the United States was there, the United States military was there, most of these things were contained because of the forces there. But at once they left, it was the troops that they trained in Iraq were not quality, they are not well trained. Because at once the insurgents started, they dropped their arms and even changed their uniform to run away. So I doubt if the United States will come there again. But the fact also remains that unless the troops are truly Iraqi troops and are ready to defend their nation, this type of insurgency will always emerge. It's a country that is unstable for a very long time.
Professor, would you say the insurgents, now the new ISIS, would you say that they're stronger than the government? Because it seems like the Iraqi president has no control over the insurgents in his country.
He has no control because Iraq is still divided into religious factions, Sunni and the other groups that are in Iraq. So it's a difficult thing for even the government to believe that they control the country and they can maintain peace and security. There are factions in Fallujah, in Mosul and all that. So it's difficult for any government to deal with anything where people are not even ready to obey simple rules. The people in Tikrit, they've not forgiven the Iraqi government of the death of Saddam Hussein. So there are a lot of tensions and factions in the country. So putting this together will be a difficult task for whoever is in charge of government.
Do we understand what these militants want, Professor? Because it's really confusing. As long as I've been a journalist, I've always known that there's been violence in Iraq. There's a bomb going off there every day. Do we really know what the militants want?